Da-na-na, 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 da-na-na. Ah, that's an infectious guitar riff, isn't it? Just listen to it. Man, that is a great song. You're in the Zeppelin. That's a great song, musically speaking. The way the players play, it's a very intricate song. So, let's see, where are we at today? I wanted to read to you something. Today we're going to be talking about mind viruses and how it relates to the public's perception of the police. Let me grab my glasses because I don't see too well without my glasses on. And this is by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer, who passed away about 2-3 years ago. He's one of those self-help gurus. He has written many books. I recommend you read his books. It'll help you tremendously in your personal life. I've read them and they have helped me. So let me find where I'm at. And here we go. When Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living, he was defending his practice of teaching his students to think for themselves, to examine the idea that had been given to them. The ideas, I'm just going to repeat this, the ideas that have been given to them. We all have thoughts that were given to us by our families, our society, our culture. These given thoughts are so pervasive and so ingrained that they seem like part of our very being. But that's exactly why we need to dig in and examine them if we want a life worth living. Richard Brody talks about these given thoughts or memes in his book, Viruses of the Mind, as thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes in your mind that can be spread to and from other people's minds. Memes are ideas that are transmitted like viruses and take up residence in our heads. Their presence can influence our behavior and limit us in ways we don't even notice unless we make a real effort to examine what we think and why. Memes die hard because they've become who we think we are. They aren't necessarily good or bad. Some may even serve our health and well-being. But if we allow these unexamined thoughts to become excuses for not living our best life, such as always be poor, unlucky, overweight, shy, lonely, angry, addicted, then they need to be hauled out into the sunlight and challenged. Don't let your unexamined thoughts cause you pain and keep you from living your divine purpose. And I believe that comes from Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, Excuses Be Gone, which I've read. It's how we find excuses for everything. You talk to people every day. I hear excuses all the time, and I'm just as guilty of it. So we're going to talk about how this relates to the public's perception of how we look at the police and view the police. And I'll give an example. I'm going to pull up some examples here on Facebook, which is really where you can really see it the most. And let's see. Now, there was a posting on Facebook. I think it was Ocean Township Police. That's it. So there's one person here who says, Andrew Noracco. He says, Ocean Township Police is one of the best police departments around. They will always have my support. They always have been polite, respectful, and professional. Maybe it was you in the wrong, not them, and as inconvenient. It maybe is also a good way for them to catch felons with warrants. I give them 100% of my support. So I think I respond here. Oh, there's another one here. It's not the one I wanted to read. Where is it? But there's people go down here and they give the police, oh, the police, you're the best. Oh, they're only trying to do their job. They're protecting and serving us, and they're doing all these wonderful things. They've got a tough job. And there's one here, Kathy Ferencz-Proseski. And I can't find it. I guess she must have... Oh, that's the one I just read. It sounds like you were just angry. Your ticket if you just sit in your car and wait for the officer to do what they have to do, it usually is a quick stop. Funny enough, I was pulled over on my way to work on Monday, also different department, for a license plate light being out. Was it an inconvenience? Yes. But the officer had a job to do. I respected that and was done. You're sounding a bit whiny. Maybe think of the big picture of what their job entails. And I responded, Kathy Proseski, that's right. Surrender all your rights and let the officer do his job. Another Lily White chiming in. Police love sheeples like you, so trusting, believing. I bet you think the police are here to protect us. And this other guy, Andrew Narako, who says that the police are the best. I said, what makes them the best? They never answer. It's just a perception that people have. Let me see if I can find anything else. All right, this is one that had to do with I had the one there at Homedale Township. That'd be one that comes right off the top of my mind, is where there's a house being broken into. The people turn on their outside light. The would-be burglars run off and take off. 2, 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is. Homedale Township police show up and they conduct a search to find the perpetrators. Homedale Township police never actually caught anybody. They couldn't find anybody. They had the dogs in from other towns. Homedale Township police attempted to pull a car over. It's not known whether that was the actual car or not, but that car got away. And what happens is you get the mayor of this town. I wish I could find it. These things never come out quickly when you want them to. So anyway, the deputy mayor, he gets on and he says, "Oh, what an outstanding job our police did," and you get other people chime in, "Oh, we love you. You're doing great work. You're the best. Keeping our neighborhoods safe." But the reality is, Homedale Township failed. They failed miserably. They didn't catch anybody. And I went in there and I said, if you spend less time harassing the public in their cars and spend more time driving up and down the streets looking for robbers, you might have less crime, or maybe you could catch these people. And of course, people attack me on that. Some people like what I say because it's the truth. But a lot of people attack me and they say, "Oh, you just hate the police. Oh, they have a difficult job." These are viruses. They're planted in your head and they take root. And just like that song that I played in the beginning, it's Led Zeppelin's Kashmir, that da-na-na, da-na-na, it's infectious. It gets in your brain. And sometimes it could be any song. It could be the Macarena for all I care. But these things get in your head and they take root. Now, some of them are not problematic. Like, I don't consider hearing that riff from Kashmir in my head, but if I had to hear it all day long and night, it could become a problem. But it's a good virus. It doesn't hurt. It's benign. It doesn't hurt. But then you take viruses like this where the police are here to protect and serve you, and how they have a difficult job and how they have a dangerous job. And the truth is, they are not here to protect us. They are here to enforce laws. I've talked about this before. I'm like a parrot now, just scroll back in the video. I've talked about it. They're not here to protect us. They're here to enforce laws. The inherent byproduct of them doing this is they can be protecting you. If they see you getting assaulted by somebody, they jump out of the car, they come over and they tackle the guy, hit him over the head, kick him a few times, let the dog bite him. They're protecting you because they stopped the guy from assaulting you. But this is a virus that a perception of the community has, is that police are protecting us. They're not protecting us. And the other thing you see is the police are using Facebook as a propaganda medium. I watch all these Facebook pages from police departments. All here in Monmouth County, I watch them. All those that have it. And it's a big propaganda machine. And all they do is put all these allegedly great things that they're doing. It's a picture. And people go and they look at these pictures and they go, oh, how nice. How lovely. Look what the great police are doing. But they're not going to put anything on there about the bad things they're doing, because that could be a real mind virus that they don't want out there. And when you go on there, well, I go and I read the postings on there, and you see the people, oh, great, you're doing such a great job, thank you, we love you. It's the same rhetoric all the time with these people. And one of the things that the propaganda machine is doing to plant mind viruses is they are targeting children. They are going to grade schools. They're targeting kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. Those are the grades that they seem to be targeting. And they go and they show the doggy, you know, I already talked about it, I won't talk about it again, but they show the doggy, the canine First Amendment circumventer dog doing its little show, and the dog and these little kids, they don't know any better. They don't have enough life experience to understand that this is just propaganda. They're planting seeds in these kids' heads. So these kids go through life where they see police. Oh, the police, they came to our school and they showed us what the doggy can do, and they talked to us, and they gave us coloring books with crayons, or they gave us balloons, or they gave us they served us ice cream pops after the demonstration. It's viruses. This is what they're doing. They're planting viruses. They know that this stuff works. And I've said in the past that I got to give the cops credit with the propaganda machine in planting those seeds in the head. Now, these kids will go through life, but as life goes on and they become more experienced in life and they start to get more worldly, particularly, I guess, maybe when they get into high school and stuff, or maybe, you know, I would say even like 7th, 8th grade, they go on YouTube, they see these videos of police beating people up, and they see the stories where the cops go out and hurt people, and they do vicious things. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying the minority, because I always hear the vast majority are good. So we're talking about the minority of them. Go out and do all these things. And then that mind virus can be counteracted, because you go and you look at that and you realize, well, this is all BS what they told me way back then. But that virus is still in the head. I mean, I even got it sometimes. Sometimes I look and I see things, I go, yeah, he does have he had a difficult time this time. Yeah, you know, they're not all bad. Because even from my point of view, I am planting a seed out there. A virus, if you want to call it. Now, as I said, the virus can be good, the virus can be bad. That's a judgment. So, yeah, I do that. First Amenders out there do the same thing, too, that we plant our virus out there to the public to say, hey, you know, this is not, this virus that they plant, this propaganda, is not accurately portraying what is going on. That they're putting us out there, these planting these seeds in your head to try to counteract the crap that some of them are doing. And so, yeah, I'm planting viruses out there too. I'm trying to put in your head that, look, this is what they do also. You need to pay attention to this. You have to make a decision. Is this how you're going to view them all the time? Or are you going to give them a free pass every time they beat somebody up, and you're going to say to yourself, well, you know, they should have just cooperated? I think it's hard to cooperate if you got a man that's got a headlock on you, choking you, and you can't breathe, while the other officer is kicking you in the ribs and they keep telling you stop resisting. You're not resisting. You're fearing for your life. But people will look at, people who view the police as being there to protect and serve us, they will view that person as being the guilty party, as, oh, you didn't cooperate. Well, you must have been doing something you hadn't. The other one I read the other day on Facebook, one of the comments, and you hear this one frequently, well, you should just cooperate with them and everything will be okay. Which is synonymous with saying, just give up your rights, allow the officer to do what he can do to jam you up, because, again, this is another virus. They are out there to jam you up. They are there to generate money, and they are there to arrest you. They want it. It's part of their psyche. People don't understand that these cops out there, not all of them, I'm talking about I want to say a lot of them out there, their psyche is, they're waiting for you. They enjoy that physical contact. They want you to resist. They want to be able to take you down and wrestle and fight with you. They want it. They really do want it. Trust me, when it comes to big guys and bullies, I am an expert on them. When I went to school, I was probably the shortest guy in my class. I definitely was one of the smallest guys in my class. Playing football and basketball was not my forte. It was not a sport that I enjoyed. And I was a target of bullies. I'm not saying I got bullied every day, but I had to be mindful when I was walking around in the neighborhood as to who I saw and who was lurking about. Is this somebody I should be fearful of, or is this somebody I should be avoiding? There was many times in high school a kid moved into the neighborhood. He was no effing good. And I was a target because I was not as strong and not as big as him. And he targeted me. He never actually beat me up or anything, but there was many times I had to dodge into the bushes or take a different way home, or just, just turn around and go the other way, because I had to be fearful of that. I don't say fearful, I had to be mindful of that. And, one of the things that bullies don't like is they don't like weakness. They definitely don't like weakness. And their way of dealing with weakness is to further emasculate you and beat you up, control you. They're gonna beat you up and teach you a lesson. And this gets back to the police, that these guys that get into this business of being a cop, they're not, and they may have had good intentions of getting into it, but they quickly learned that that's not how it goes. And many of these big guys, many who play football, played sports, they like physical contact. And that's why they get into it. But that's a problem, because that's a negative portrayal of who they are. It's a virus that will get into, you'll see that, and that's a virus that will take root, and you'll see that. So they put this propaganda out there to plant these viruses in your head. And it's just interesting how these mind viruses, whether it's those who think the police are here to protect and serve us, or the ones who think that my police department is the best, or it could be hearing the songs that you like and that gets in your head, our ideas. I mean, we all have these viruses in our brains, interpretations of things, and I'll give you an example of a virus. It's a benign virus that was in my brain. I started a job not too long ago, and I was in the HR office doing some paperwork, doing the nonsense you have to do. And this gentleman walks into the office, and he's a young guy, he's in his early 40s. And he has tattoos all on his neck, and he has tattoos on his hands. And he leans over to the doorway to the HR manager, and he goes, and he talks very softly. He just goes, "Excuse me," and he just asks a little question. And I'm watching this, and I wasn't expecting to be so soft-spoken. And I thought to myself, well, he must have just got out of prison, and they put him through anger management, so he talks softly. So what I'm saying is that this is a virus that you think people with tattoos might be of the violent nature or criminal nature. And later on, when I got to know this kid, turns out he's the nicest guy in the world. There's not a violent bone in his whole body. But that's a virus that society, an idea, thought, that gets planted in our head, that those with tattoos might be of criminal nature, might have been in prison. Now one could say, well, if you got tattoos all over your face, all over your face, that could certainly portray a message that you don't go along with society's rules, and it might not be conducive to getting a job. I would say that's a fair assessment. But viruses, mind viruses. So ask yourself in the course of the day when you're going out and you're making these judgments, where did that virus come from? When you see the police over there pulling people over, are they harassing, are they extorting? I mean, that's how I look at it. But I don't base that thought on some idea that somebody put in my head. A lot of these things, my images and views of the police at this point in my life is based on experience. It's based on watching videos. It's based on talking to them. I've talked to a lot of police. Don't think I'm the enemy of them and they don't talk to me. I do talk to them. They may not know who I am while I'm talking to them, but I will talk to them and I will ask them questions just to get inside their head and see what's going on. And it helps me with my perception of police. And then I try to convey this perception to you. And one of the things I've been beating the drum about is that a lot of these communities here where I'm at in Monmouth County, not all of them, just some of them, are out there generating revenue. And this is another virus that they put out there that you know, it's safety. Distracted driving is safety. Wear your seatbelt, it's safety. But it's all BS. And this is a virus that they're trying to plant in your head that put your seatbelt on, it's safety. Put your phone down, it's for safety. And I'm not disagreeing. Talking on your phone while you're driving is a distraction. There's no doubt. Whether you're holding the phone or the phone is hands-free, it is distracting. Which is primarily, you know, I don't talk on my phone when I'm driving because I have a hearing problem. So I don't talk on it. I avoid talking on my phone. And even if I could, I wouldn't. Because I have done it in the past where I miss an exit, I miss a turn. I really just don't do it. But they try to plant this virus in your head that the reason that April is distracted driving month is for safety it's BS. It's propaganda. And they're trying to plant the seed in your head when you see them pulling over and doing all these things that they're doing it for safety reasons. And they're not. They're doing it for revenue. That's why the state gives them money, so the town can go out and generate revenue. The town makes money, and the state makes money. Because if it wasn't for money, when you get the ticket, you wouldn't be charged a bill. Your insurance company charges you. You would get a point or something, and after you get X amount of points, then your license gets suspended. See? You get it? Am I overcoming that virus in your head? That it's about safety? No ticket is about safety. Every ticket that a cop issues on behalf of the government, it's about generating revenue. Our government is about generating revenue. And the lower you get on the scale, like the municipal court level, it's all about money, money, money. Because if it was about safety, they wouldn't stick you with a fine. They'd let your insurance company do it. So last time I got a ticket, I had to pay a fine. It cost me $85, and it caused my car insurance to go up for, I don't know how long, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the length of time is. It seems like my insurance keeps going up, and I don't even know when it's going to ever go down. I keep thinking I'm getting old, it'll go down, but it never seems to do. But this is a propaganda virus, and police are probably the top dogs at promoting propaganda viruses. They put that notion in their head that they're going to have extra cars out there watching you for safety. And it's not, because if it was all about safety, distracted driving, they wouldn't be driving around with a laptop computer open up, obstructing their view, distracting them. They wouldn't be on that two-way radio talking on that while they're driving. They wouldn't be looking at their plate reader. They wouldn't be looking over their radar unit to see how fast you're going, because these are all distractions. And, you know, the people who are most infected with these viruses seems to be the white community. I'm not talking about the trailer park community. I'm talking about the middle class and up. They are the ones that buy into this viruses that the police are generating. Because it's my opinion that the white community, not the poor white community, you got to understand, your financial status really will affect your thinking. And what I've learned is that the middle white class, the upper white class, they really live in fear. They are fearful. There are viruses in their brain. They are so fearful. And if you tell them that, all right, we're out here, we're protecting and serving, oh, thank goodness. That's their attitude. Oh, thank goodness. I can watch my TV. I can enjoy my nice carpet. I can go down the road in my nice car. I don't have to worry about little Johnny. I know the police are out there protecting. And this is a virus that's in their brain. Now, you get into the lower economic status of the black community, the white community, anybody that's poor, because you are the target of police. They prey on you. And do you have a virus because you're fearful of the police? Because of your way you look, the way you walk, when you're going down the street? I know when I was younger, I was targeted by the police. I had long hair. My car was jacked up, big tires. I was always getting pulled over. You're a black man, you're walking down the street. You know what a black man has, what trouble they go through in life dealing with the law. That the law enforcement has their own set of viruses. That every time they see a black man walking down the street that doesn't look like Urkel, they're going to stop him, harass him. Oh, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. That's a virus. There was a thing, I think I saw it on 2020 many years ago. They showed this black man. And this black man was a well-to-do, educated man. So he had dreads on him. Big dreads. And they dropped him off in a very nice upscale white neighborhood. He's walking down the street, minding his business, not breaking any laws, not bothering anybody. I don't think he was walking 5 minutes and somebody called the police on him. And the police responded and proceeded to try to shake him down. And that's a virus. The virus is that these white people saw this black man and they called the police because their perception of the black man is negative. The police show up and their virus is, well, this is a white neighborhood. What are you doing here? You don't belong here. And then their virus that's in their brain is that they now have to shake this guy down. And that's just not with them. That's with anybody. We've watched a gazillion videos where where the cop is demanding your ID when you haven't broken any laws. And see, that cop has a virus in his brain. He's been taught, and that virus has been reinforced, that every time he stops somebody, that he has to have your ID. And we all know that's not true. They're only entitled to the ID when you break a law. They suspect you of breaking a law. You're about to break a law. Now, the one time they can demand the ID is when you're sitting in the car seat behind the steering wheel of a car. And you're going down the road and then they stop you. They have a right to demand your ID and you have to fork it over. ID, I should say your driver's license. You must fork it over and give it to them or else. But cops have viruses. Their viruses affect us because they view us a certain way. Our viruses in our brain enable a lot of the viruses that they have. And the virus that we have, I don't have it. I lost that virus. I cured that virus a long time ago. The virus is that they are here to protect and serve you. The virus here is that they have a tough job. They don't have a tough job. The only thing really tough about the job is not getting caught with by a camera doing something they shouldn't do. Now, I suppose you could say, well, in some situations they might have a difficult time. Well, I would say this. I don't know what situation they come up against that could be difficult. I mean, if a bank's being robbed and the officer walks in on that situation, he has to draw his gun, and he has to make a split-second decision as to whether to pull the trigger or not pull the trigger. One could say that is a tough part of the job. I probably would agree that that's a tough part of the job, but doesn't training that you receive help overcome the toughness of the job? Doesn't experience help you overcome the toughness of the job? I mean, think about it. You know, the first time you learn to drive, you know, you got to push the brake, the gas pedal, steer, the blinker. It's all these things coming at you, and it's overwhelming. And then you drive the next day, and the day after that, and after 2 weeks, you're driving this car pretty good. You've learned to work the steering wheel, the brake pedal, the gas pedal, the blinkers, the lights. You even work the radio while you're at it. So doesn't the training that the police receive help them overcome the toughness of the job? I would say it does. How often does a police officer get in that kind of situation? I don't know, but they got training videos where they have to make split-second decisions, and their training teaches them how to respond, when to respond, and the level of force to respond. So I would say, yeah, that there's some tough times in the job, but everybody has a tough day on the job. Don't think the garbage man doesn't have a tough day. Suppose he goes out there and it's spring cleaning. All of a sudden he's got to pick up garbage cans, and they're very heavy. They stink. The garbage stinks. He picks a bag up. The bag breaks. He's got fluid spills on him. Is that not tough? But you learn to deal with it. But the public's perception, you the public, perceive them, some of you, not all of you, perceive them as having a tough job. I disagree. They may have some challenges from time to time, but the bulk of what they do is they drive around, they stalk motorists, they pull the motorists over, the motorist gives them a little hard time, maybe they're sheeple and they just bow down to them, or you get the one that mouths off to them. But that's part of the job. So should I feel sorry for them because it's a tough, that they got to deal with a little abuse once in a while? Yeah. I'm not going to feel sorry for him. You signed up for the job. Why should I feel sorry for you? If you can't stand it, can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. Then people say they have a dangerous job. I think we all have a dangerous job from time to time, don't we? I think every time we get in our car, it's dangerous. You never know when you're going to get that cop running through the light that's not watching what he's doing. He's going to slam his car into your car. You never know when you're going to be mistaken for somebody else and you're taking a bullet from a cop. It could be anybody. I'm just picking on the guy, I'm making light of this, but everybody has, there's dangers every day that we get out of bed. Every day. You never know when something bad's going to happen to you. Did you get out of bed today and something happened that you weren't expecting? Yeah. So again, who started that virus, mind virus, that the police have a dangerous job? I think in a lot of situations, the police create that danger for themselves by escalating. Instead of trying to de-escalate and stop trying to make the arrest the focus of what they're doing. And I think a lot of times these officers that get hurt make poor decisions, and they escalate situations rather than de-escalating. So again, who put that virus out there that they have a dangerous job? There's jobs out there, they're not, I mean, we all say this, they're not even in the top 10 most dangerous jobs. So who started that virus? Is this just part of the propaganda machine? And then this one, you know, I don't know if I just talked about it, but that they're here to protect and serve. Who started that? I mean, when a cop pulls you over, does he say, "Hi, how are you, Mr. Gunnison? I just pulled you over because you're going a little too fast, and I'm really concerned about your well-being, and I want to make sure you're safe." So I'm going to need to see your driver's license, your registration, insurance, because you went too fast. For the sign said 50 and you were doing 60, and I'm really concerned for your safety. I never had a cop do that. Did you ever have a cop pull you over and do that? No. Never. Pulled me over, says license, registration, and then I say, what did I do wrong? He'll say, I'll let you know in a minute. I'll be right back. And he goes to his car. Well, first before he goes, do you have any points on your license? He doesn't say, are you safe? Has everything been safe for you lately, Mr. Gunnison? Never had a cop say that. The only thing they say to me when they pull me over is, how's your license? Is your license clean? You got points? They never say, Gunnison, has everything been safe? Do you feel protected? Because I pulled you over because I want to make sure you're safe and I want to protect you. No, is it never? He takes my license, he asks me if everything's okay with my license, he goes back to the car and he comes back and either he's giving me a ticket or he's giving me a warning or he's telling me to slow down next time. That's what they do. So who started this virus that they're protecting you? I don't know. You got beat up and the cop came over there and arrested the guy because he saw the marks on your face, and the guy said, yeah, I clocked him. All right, I'm going to arrest you. He doesn't arrest that guy and then come over to you and say, Mr. Smith, are you okay? Are you feeling protected now? Do you feel safe now? No. He says, come down to headquarters, the detective will talk to you. Or can I get your statement of what happened? Would you want to sign a complaint? That's what he does. I've never, ever had a cop in any situation in my 58, going on 59 years on this earth, ever had a cop go to me, are you safe? Do you feel protected? Never. Ever. So who started this virus? I don't know. I think the police did because, you know, you watch, I don't know if some of you out there remember Adam 12. Then they used to say on the side of the car, I think that was Los Angeles police, had on the side of the car, protect and serve. Again, who started that virus? Who started that virus? They serve. I never had a cop pull me over or have a cop stop me and say, Gunnison, how may I serve you? Is there something I can do for you, Gunnison? Gunnison, did you have enough to eat today? Gunnison, do you need some gas money? Gunnison, or how about when you're pulled over, the cop comes, does the cop come over and say, how can I serve you? And then you say, I could use a jump. Ask the cop for a jump and see what happens there. Oh, well, we can't do that with the township car. We'll call you a tow truck. That's not serving me. Never, ever have I had a cop say, can I serve you? In my job, I serve people. I serve people, both my jobs. I serve people every day I go to work. I look after their needs. Are you comfortable? Is everything okay? What can I get you? I serve. Maybe somebody should start a virus out there that Gunnison Undercover serves people. And I protect people. If I saw somebody beating you up, I'd jump in there and help you. If I saw a little kid getting abused, I'd jump in there and help. I would protect that kid. I would protect my fellow human being if I saw them getting hurt by another person or done wrong by someone. I would protect them. I don't get paid for that, and I don't ask for an award either. And speaking of awards, that's another virus. You see that on their Facebook pages. That's another propaganda virus they're trying to put in your head. That, so the cop goes out. Here's the story. The cop goes out and I don't know, he arrests somebody or does something. I don't know what it is. And next you know, he's getting an award. An award for what? You're doing your job. That's what we pay you, 6 figures a year. But see, they give the awards, and the purpose of the award does a couple purposes to it. One, it puts the seed in the cop's head that, hey, look at me, I'm special today. It's like being in school. Remember when you were a little kid in school, and you do the spelling bee or something, whatever it is, you got to do a spelling test. And they're difficult words, and there's extra credit on that. And you do these words, and the teacher puts a gold star on there. Most of the time, I got the, I probably got a silver star or something, you know. I got the lower one. Never got the gold one, because I wasn't academically smart. But this is a virus, so even their own department puts viruses in their head to make that officer feel special, that he went out of the way and did something special, even though that's his job and that's what he gets paid for. Now, if that officer ran into a burning house to save some lady or some kids, and he risked his own life in a situation, now, you know what? I might say he deserves an award, because I'm not so sure I'd run into a burning house and risk my life for somebody. I'll go on record. I don't know if I'm going to risk my life for you. I'm going to tell you, jump out the window and I'll try to catch you. I'm not going in that burning house. So I would say when the officer goes beyond his job description, which is enforce the laws, maybe he deserves an award, maybe he doesn't. But then they take the opportunity to take that picture and put it on Facebook to present this positive image in your brain. It's a virus. They're trying to plant. It's a seed. It's an idea, a notion that they're trying to plant in your head. And you never see the garbage man getting an award. I say this all the time. I've never seen a Facebook posting where they gave a garbage man an award. I don't even think the DPWs have Facebook pages and highlight what the DPW guys do. They're like the unsung heroes sometimes, because they're out there the worst of weather doing their job. You know, just for once, I'd like to see a garbage man get an award for picking up heavy garbage. Oh, we had a lot of garbage this week. It was spring cleaning, and we're going to give our crew an award for their outstanding service. You never see it. Never see it. But this is something that the police do, and they plant that seed in the cop's head, and they plant the seed in your head. Oh, look what this great officer did. And the ironic thing about it is every time some cop gets caught jammed up and gets arrested for beating somebody up or molesting a kid or beating his wife up, it turns out he's an award winner. We had this guy, Jake Pascucci, down in Long Branch. He used to be a cop over in Oceanport, and then he went to Long Branch Police here in Monmouth County. And he got Officer of the Month award. I don't know what he did to deserve it. He goes out and gets drunk. He goes to a PBA political function, and that's the key word, political function, PBA. They were stroking the local politicians. And he leaves drunk, and he wants to go to another bar and get drunker. And he kills some woman. What's that award mean? It means nothing. I'll tell you what the award means. I'll tell you what the awards are for. So I can nullify that virus in your brain that there's great people and that's why they're getting awards. They give them these awards so that when they screw up and they got to go to court, their defense lawyer breaks out all these awards. Look at he did there. He was Officer of the Month. He was Outstanding Valor. He was part of the K-9 program that went around to the schools and put little viruses in the little minds. And the public buys into it. And it's a virus. And then you have coffee with a cop. That's another one. Go down and have coffee with a cop. Now, I want to go to one of these coffees with a cop, but unfortunately every time they have it, I got to work. I often wonder what happened if I went down there. Maybe me and Matt Tim went down there, or me and a few other people who are critical of law enforcement went down there and started asking our questions with the camera rolling. How would they handle that? So then they posted the thing on the Facebook. Oh, Coffee with a Cop was a big success. And then they show Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Mr. and Mrs. Anderson. And then you see the Facebook postings. Oh, that was so great. I enjoyed talking to our officers, our heroes. And I look at that and I go, here we go again. More propaganda, more viruses. And Because these people are going down there and they're not going to ask the tough questions. I mean, if I went down and I'd say, officer, have you ever used excessive force? Have you ever had a lawsuit, caused a lawsuit because of your behavior? Have you ever had a complaint against you? How did you get your job, officer? Who are you related to? Who signed off on you? Officer, have you ever smoked pot? Officer, I see you did this in the past. Officer, have you ever seen another officer do something questionable? Have you ever seen an officer violate somebody's rights? Officer, have you ever lied on a report? But if I went down and asked those questions, everybody would give me that look. Then I would be the jerk. I'd be the jerk for asking the questions. The real questions, not the dopey questions. Oh, I love everything you do. I feel so safe when I see a police car around. Oh, you're out there. You have a tough job. You're out there protecting, serving the community. These are viruses, and they've infected the community. And you see it every day on Facebook, on the propaganda pages. Viruses. And I'll finish up with this other virus. The blue gang flag. You know that one? The one where they modified the American flag to represent a special interest group. And this is a virus that's infected the police, where they walk around with the attitude, oh, poor me. You know, we're a brotherhood. And the message, the message that they portray to themselves, the virus in their brain, is that we are a brotherhood, that we are a special group of people. And I disagree with it. Your job is no more important than anybody else out there's job. Okay, every day I go to work, my job has challenges. I do things to help people. Every day both my jobs, 3 of my jobs that I do, I help people every day. Am I a brotherhood of somebody? No. Do I have to get up there and wave my flag? No. But they feel they have to, and that's a virus in their brain, that they feel that they need special consideration. It's a virus in their brain that they feel sometimes they're picked on and don't get the respect they deserve. You get the respect when you give respect. I respect everybody until you do something that takes that respect away. Now, there's different degrees of respect. I'm going to give you the same respect that I give any person that I meet that I don't know. I'm going to give you that respect. Once I get to know you and I know things that you've done, that respect will grow into, and will grow. That's the best way I can say it. That respect will grow. But that's a virus that the police have. And then they wave that little gang flag, that special interest gang flag. And you can see who in the public whose virus that infects gets into the brain, because they've got it on their car, they got it on their Facebook. There's pictures of them with the blue gang flag. You got the one there, she down there in Bricktown, she presented the blue gang flag wooden thing that she makes. I don't know what the hell it was. And she's standing there around with all the cops gloating that she's getting approval from the cops. Then you get the badge bunnies out there. They got viruses in their brain too. They think a guy with a badge and a uniform on is superior to the garbage man. Well, I would say this to the badge bunnies out there. You're better off marrying and dating a garbage man. Maybe he stinks a little bit at the end of the day when he comes home, but that's stink from working. And you don't have to worry about being up in the higher risk category of domestic violence. Because 1 out of 4 families, women married to cops, experiences domestic violence. They have a higher than the national rate of divorce. But that's a virus in their brain that they think, oh, he wears a uniform. Oh, he's my hero. Badge bunnies. They really got the viruses in their brain because they turn a blind eye. And I would say if you turn a blind eye to what the bad stuff that the police do, you got a virus. And if you see something that I wrote on there and challenge one of these propaganda stories and you end up calling me name or doing the old get a job as if I don't have a job. I have 2 jobs. You got a virus. If you give cops a free pass and say, oh, our police department's the best in the nation, I probably think you have a virus. Because I would ask you, how do you back that up with facts that they're the best? I don't think there's really any one department around here that's the best. I know several police departments. I've talked to their chiefs. I see them every day out working about. I've talked to their officers, interacted with them, and there's some police departments around here that I think are, generally speaking, pretty decent people because they're part of the community. They're not out there trying to jam people up and get an arrest and generate money. They're out there part of the community, helping the community. Being, helping is the same help that I would do. If I saw you in a parking lot with your hood up and you needed a jump start, I'd go help you. I'd give you that jump. I'd help you. If you broke down or something happened and you didn't have a phone on, I'd say, here, use my cell phone. Or I'd give you a ride or something, based on the safety level of it. I would help you. It's like the same as opening a door for somebody who's elderly and can't walk or is handicapped. That's helping. And you get police departments where the officers are out riding around helping the community. You're probably a good community. I talked to a chief over here in one of the police departments here. I didn't even know he was a chief at first. I thought he was a politician because he didn't have his uniform. And I got talking to guys, and I was just totally shocked that this guy was a cop. And we had a nice conversation. I was talking to him, and I was talking to 4 of his officers there of different ranks. And we had a nice conversation. I talked to another chief over here near me. He's a new chief. He's not a bad guy. He's a big guy, so he's got a little bit of the big guy thing going on. But I've talked to the other officers, and generally speaking, their officers are nice people. They're out there serving the community, and I don't expect them to turn a blind eye to every crime that goes on. But they do, in my opinion, they do a nice job. They do a good job. They're not out there acting like predators. Then you got other towns, the cops are just jerks. And it all starts at the top with the chief. Yeah. And but again, it just comes back to viruses. What your perception is of what the police do. Do you think that they're all good and you subscribe to that virus that there's going to be a bad apple in every bunch? Well, that's true. There are bad apples in every bunch. The question is, what are the other apples doing about those bad apples? Are they kicking the bad apple out? Or do they allow the bad apple to stay in the basket and infect the rest of them?